Hey, everybody, it's Ken Compton, again, hanging out with Coach William, and we're talking about the workshop. And Coach William, welcome, sir.
Hey, Ken, this is a good one.
Yes, it is. I asked Coach William when he first joined the firm, is a full 1/3 of your business coming from your prior clients? What happened, Coach William?
It's still not true today.
But you are working on it.
I'm working on it. Yes, sir.
I think what happens is your prior clients are an ATM. They're an untapped gold mine. They know that you're the obvious expert and they know you, like you, and trust you. They already chose you. Why is it we ignore them after the fact?
Yeah. This is one of the things that you hounded me on from the get-go, and I just put it on the back burner. I collected the information, always had it, but really never put the wheels into motion. So prior client. So what Ken does, for those listening to the call, to kick me in the butt, we have a workshop 2 years ago, I believe, and we were talking about prior client market. Prior to the workshop, we're talking about prior client marketing, and I let it slip that this is a weak area for me. So guess what I present for about an hour and a half at the workshop. So I had to learn it inside, upside down, and backwards, and we implemented a lot of it, and pays off, and we're still growing with that today. So yeah, it's another real missed opportunity. I just met with a marketing director this morning, had breakfast with him, and he was sharing with me, and he has a team of about 16 agents under him, and he was sharing with me that this is one of their weakest links, that they fail to follow up with their prior clients like they know they should. Everybody can think for just a second and see the value in it. But it's just, I don't know, for some reason, it's one of those things that gets dropped, and it's a real missed opportunity.
I will tell you, I've heard, William, that some home inspectors, not our members, but some home inspectors have said to me at conferences where I speak or whatever, the reason they don't market their prior clients is because they're afraid the prior client will, complain about something was missed. I'm like, really? Really?
They will. You're gonna. But look at the percent. I mean, we get that, but it's so minute compared to the benefits of it. I'm willing to put up with that little quirk now and then, and that's usually. I mean, come on, the statue is only a year here, so it's usually, if you're doing a good job, it's not a major disaster.
That's right. It isn't. And you know what happens is these people already know you, like you, and trust you. And what I always talk to you guys about is we need to turn these prior clients into what I call brand fans. Brand fans. What happens is we want them to be at their work in the lunchroom. Their buddy comes in and says, hey, the wife and I put a contract on the great home. We're just so excited about it. And I need your prior clients to say, I got the perfect home inspector for you. When those words roll off their lip, you have a brand fan. Okay, and we can teach you in this breakout session some very simple and easy methods that you can use to create brand fans.
Right. And it's another, set of strategies here that just works really well. It's not something you can just make something up and do. To stay in contact and engage with them, you have to do that tactfully, which is what we'll share with you. But yeah, and not just to mention, that they're at the barber shop and happen to hear somebody needing a home inspection and drop your name. But if you have ancillary services, that they didn't use at the time of inspection, or maybe you do termite annual stuff or pool and spa, those kind of things, this is a great opportunity to market those ancillary services.
What if you do infrared and a big storm comes through your neighborhood?
I just had that question from a real estate agent yesterday. Not from a storm, but she's telling me she's got a client that just continually has this roof leak problem. They've had roofers out and everything else, and nobody can find this. So I'm like, hey, has anybody been in there with an infrared camera? Well, no, who'd have thought of that? So.
Right. And William, here's the other thing. I know we won't be teaching this in the workshop because it's quite an advanced strategy, but one of the things I wanted you to do is I wanted you to prove that you could get more money from your prior clients. And so we ran a list that showed the clients that didn't purchase radon during the home inspection. Let's talk about that a minute, how that worked out.
Right. So that worked out really well. That's exactly what I'm talking about, those ancillary services. So through collecting data correctly, you should be able to do this, to be able to go back and pull the inspections that maybe didn't do a radon test, mold test, whatever that service may be that you offer. And then, later on now, maybe they've been in the home a while, they were stretched for cash at the time, or maybe something has developed since then that makes more sense for them to take advantage of those services. So again, you've already established that know me, like me, trust me relationship. So if they're going to do business with somebody for one of these services, it's going to be you, but only if you are there in front of them presenting it.
I agree. And by keeping good data and staying in touch with your prior clients, they'll refer you. They're probably not going to buy another house for 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 or 7, but their kids will, their grandkids will, their friends, their neighbors. Beth and I had our carpets cleaned by this guy in Naples, and he was really good. And, he didn't ever stay in touch with us. He gave us his card, but of course we lost it. And when we needed him next time, we couldn't figure out who he was, and he really did a great job. And so we had to call somebody else, and that was disappointing. And we see statistics that show that 57% of people that go to purchase that same product and service again use a different vendor for one reason. The original vendor never stayed in touch with them.
Exactly.
So that's just tragic. I mean, here we are always out trying to get new business, and ignore the ones that already love us.
Exactly. And I think I'd say most home inspectors are guilty of that, or at least one of us could do much better at it. I'm one.
Right. I think that 1/3 of your business, if you're a multi-inspector firm, should come from your prior clients. Now, we have one-man shops where 70 or 80% of their business comes from prior clients. But when you add additional employee inspectors in there, sometimes that makes that a little different. They don't always give the same wow factor you as the owner do. And that makes a big difference. And you should give the wow factor. Boy, we could teach a whole nother course on the wow factor, couldn't we, William? We'll add that as a bonus session, the wow factor at the workshop.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I just can't stress how important it is you've built that relationship. Chances are they spent 2.5 hours, 3 in there with you during the home inspection. They loved you when you left. So why not keep that romance alive?
Exactly. We basically demanded that the clients come to the home inspection. Don't wait till the end. I want you to come to the beginning. It does 2 things. It starts the prior client marketing relationship with you, and it reduces the number of claims and callbacks you have. Because when I got Miss Jones out there in the garage and that place is packed, and I'll say, Miss Jones, what happens is, look around, this garage is packed today. So when you move in or come back on your walk-in and that electrical outlet doesn't work, or there's a hole in the drywall, guess what? We couldn't see it, right? Right, Ken, all right. I got you. So that kind of relationship, when they see what you do, they just read your report at the end. They have no idea how you arrived at that. But when they follow you around and talk to you through the whole process and they see it, man, they know you're the expert.
Right. I had run the numbers here. It's been a couple of years back. Need to do it again. But at that time, it had broke down to be over 90%. And we don't get a ton of callbacks, but over 90% of those that we got came from inspections where the client wasn't present. So just what you said, they're there to see the due diligence. You're there to explain. When somebody gets a written report and they're reading this text, they're left to themselves to interpret that. But when you're there with them as a home inspector, you go beyond the written word and explain what you've got in writing. And I think that's just so critical. It's hard if you can build that relationship and make a friend out of them. I know this guy, Ken Competent, told me one time it's really hard to sue a friend. So, that's not our objective, but it kind of is. And why not get that cushion as well? So I think it's very important that they be there. And it's a shame nowadays that the agent is rarely there anymore.
Right. I would come home and say to Beth, man, I have met some of the most interesting people today. And I would tell her these stories. And she's like, how in the heck do you know all this stuff? And I say, I talk to my clients. I'm turning my acquaintance into friends. I'm coming out of the Honey Baked Ham store a couple of years ago. And somebody says, hey, there's Ken, our home inspector. Now, William, you know how long it's been since I've done a home inspection? It's been a week or two. My younger friends say it's been a minute. What happens is I'm thinking, I hope to goodness they say what their name is. You know how many people I've met since then? And so they did, and they were thrilled. They were just as thrilled talking with me at the Honey Baked Ham store as they were when I finished their home inspection. Right. And that's the kind of relationship you want to build with. You know what, William? You and I both love serving the clients. You and I love helping their family make the right decision. That's the joy of this business, not the aggravation with the agents and the nuts that call you back and all those things.
Right. I agree. And that's why most of us do it every day. So but yeah, if the client's there, I think that's a killer thing to happen. We do have occasionally, like I said, where the client can't be there for whatever reason, and that's usually going to be our call back, and fell right in with that was occupied homes, of course, because just like you said, they go to move in and the furniture's gone and they see things that you couldn't see. And I had one, this is funny, we'll get on these stories. I had one where these people painted around the furniture in the living room, around the couch, painted around the china cabinet, the whole deal. So when the folks go to move in, I got that phone call. How come you didn't tell us they only painted around? I'm like, I don't move furniture.
That's a mess. Well, I'll tell you what happens in this breakout session. We'll get into all that. We'll share with you some tremendous strategies where you can work the ATM machine, where you can get more business from them, make them a brand fan. It's a very exciting piece. I hope you don't ignore prior client marketing. Coach William didn't ignore it. He was just working strategies that he thought would yield larger profit for him initially. But now that he's gotten in and understand that these people already chose them as the obvious expert, know them, like them, and trust them, he sees the value of continuing that relationship, and he's done a very, very good job at it, even if I had to throw him into the fire.
Yeah, that's true. And we haven't hit that 30% yet, but we're getting close to that all the time.